Again, I mean, I'm focused on making sure that, whether it's the way that I'm working before, in, or after practice, or, when we're watching film, like I'm focused on being the best quarterback that I can be, but certainly very open to questions. I always try to throw my 2 cents in whether they want to hear it or not. But I just think in playing this game for as long as I have, there are so many good things that have happened, and there are also scars that develop of mistakes that you've made that you don't want other people to make. And so I just try to share all those experiences with them, and they've been real good too in terms of being receptive and asking questions. And I'm an open book. I'm here to compete and play football and have fun and go from there.
Right. How different is practice when you're going against another team?
Sorry. I think it's great. I really do. I like the joint practices because you start going against your defense and that particular scheme, and you get locked into certain looks, and then all of a sudden you go to a preseason game, and guys, you're not preparing real well because you're still locked in training camp, and guys' heads start spinning a little bit. So to be able to get out here, get a few practices in, especially against a Todd Bowles defense, it gives you a lot of different looks. We're going to have plenty of things to sit and talk about tonight and for the next few days, but he really challenges you as an offense, and so this is a great opportunity for us. And even just one-on-ones with different defensive backs, and putting our backs blocking linebackers or running routes, our tight ends with safety, same thing. I mean, it's just different people, and I think it brings a little bit more energy to training camp because you kind of you hit that lull where you've been practicing for a while against the same guys doing the same thing, and this adds some energy to it.
Ryan, you said that. Having said that, what did you gain from your group, especially up front, going against another team?
Well, so again, we'll go back, and there's a lot of stuff we'll be able to talk about in terms of the true scheme and what we're doing, and things that are good and bad and how we can make it better. So that's going to be good for us, but also just facing guys that play a little bit different. Their techniques are a little bit different. Their run fits are a little bit different. All that stuff happens every week throughout the season. So it's nice for it to happen in a practice setting where, maybe the stakes aren't as high, and you can learn from some of the mistakes.
Some of this personnel already. What jumps out at you now that you're seeing them in a Todd Bowles defense?
The Tampa's defense. Well, I'll just say that I have a ton of respect for Todd, and having played for him in New York for 2 years, and just I think the mentality that he has, how aggressive he is, how confident he is in what he's calling, that really shows on the field with his players. And that's such an important thing, especially defensively, to have that mentality and that attitude. And that was something when he was a head coach that trickled down to all of us, just how confident he was in what he did and how he relied on his players and wasn't afraid to be aggressive. That stuff sends a good message throughout the locker room, and that's one that I think everybody that plays for him hears loud and clear.
Brian, Bruce Arians said that he didn't want Jameis Winston looking over his shoulder this year. In a weird way, did you play so well that maybe that was a factor? I know you have a great opportunity in Miami and you made that decision, but did the Bucs even contact you? And what was that dynamic like, after Jameis came back, that, because you'd been so successful, do you feel like maybe he was kind of trying to match what you did?
I think it was last year was a difficult situation for a lot of different reasons, but I look at the way he played down the stretch, and he played some really good football. I know that he grew as a football player last year, and the way that he was playing, and I think I had an opportunity to come to Miami and to compete for the job, and for me at least, football is a lot more fun when I'm out there playing. So, and having the opportunity to go to Miami and compete, that's why I decided to do what I did. But I'm excited to see Jameis in this offense, just to see him, a year older, a year further in his progression as a quarterback, because the sky's the limit for him, obviously.
Just a couple more guys.
It seems like Josh Rosen is making progress and kind of closing the gap on the starting job, if I can use that term. Do you feel that way? And if so, where has Josh improved, and why has he closed the gap if he has?
I'm the same guy every day, whether it's meeting rooms or practice field or on the game field. I think I'm going to try to bring steadiness. I'm going to try to bring excitement, all that stuff. But for me, in a competition, instead of focusing on everything that you can't control, you focus on what you can, and what I can control is me. So that's how I look at these things. 'Cause I know what I'm capable of when I perform at a high level, and so being able to reach that and consistently do that is something that I'll just continue to strive for. But I think as a whole, when you bring in a new coaching staff and a new system, everybody's learning and trying to get on the same page and get up to speed. And this is about the time after all the off-season stuff and now into training camp where stuff starts to gel a little bit better and people start to come together and start to see a little more continuity. So I think we're seeing that a little bit with everybody.
I'm not sure if you could put a percentage on it, but how much of the quarterback job do you feel is the intangibles, communication, leadership, body language versus the on-field performance?
Well, I mean, if being a quarterback was all based on, height, weight, speed, arm talent, then I wouldn't be in the NFL. So I have to answer that question by saying the intangibles are very important, because that's why I'm standing up here in front of you. But there are so many things that go into being a successful quarterback and playing the position the right way, and that's what I strive to do every day.
Ryan, were you? We gotta go. Coach Arians is here, ready to roll. Thank you.
I don't want to make Coach Arians mad. Yeah.
Coach Arians.
I thought today it was a lot of fun going against a different colored jersey. The tempo of the practice on both sides was really, really good. All three phases. I haven't got to watch enough of the defense practice yet, so go upstairs and watch that. I saw most of the offense and was pretty pleased.
Any truth to the rumor that you asked Warren Sapp if he was ready to come out of retirement?
I just looked at him and the answer is no. I saw him on the golf course this spring.
Bruce, was there a winner in the practice today, a team that had an edge over the other, do you think?
I don't think so. I think it was really good. I think one thing was way too many penalties on both sides. That's one thing we got to do. Both of us play a lot of man-to-man, and got to keep our hands off their jerseys, and we've been preaching it pretty hard. So I'm anxious to go up and get the count on how many penalties we had, because that was the emphasis for us today, was with an NFL crew in here, is to not have many penalties.
But no fights?
We will never have fights.
First, it looked pretty seamless moving inside when you got the lightning alarm. Was there anything you lost in the shuffle? Or?
No, because we had it all planned out. We walked through it last night. Both coaching staffs took Brian over. We went through the building just in case, because we thought we were going to get it in. With 10 more minutes, we'd have had it done. So I don't think it looks that promising tomorrow, though.
You guys have a new face on defense with Darian Stewart. Can you talk about what he brings?
Yeah, a veteran player who still got a lot in the tank. He was a Pro Bowl player and very, very smart player, so he should be able to get up to speed real quick.
Bruce, in your experience when you implement a new defense scheme, you go through growing pains early in the year, anything you can do to accelerate that process?
Yeah, I think the defense should be ahead of the offense. It should be easier to play gaps, to have gap control defense. And then the hardest thing is getting used to play press man-to-man when you've been a zone team, as much man as we play. And the combination of zone and man. A young man like Devin, he's played man-to-man most of his life, but now he's dropping zones. That's a little harder for him. And so constricted areas, red zone, those things playing off each other. That's where the safety injuries kind of hurt, because that's the communicators back there. So we've got new guys at safety communicating. We had some rough spots today.
In Dominican's suit here, the Dolphins have 2 young guards that are basically getting the experience last week in their first game. What do you think they can take from lessons for playing against Sue this week in practice?
What it's going to be like in the real Bullets fly, because he don't play. I mean, he's going. So, yeah, it's great for a young guy. You know, it's like our young guys when they're going against him. You know, you better have good technique. You better know your assignments. You better be able to play fast because he's going to be playing fast.
One of the Tigers is saying, knowing Todd Bowles, he said, you know, he comes with an aggression that teams pick up his mentality pretty quickly. Was that the case here when he came in and took the guys under the wing?
I don't think there's any doubt. You know, it was as soon as the guys got to know him, got around him, they got the feeling of how we're going to attack.
What's your general plan, Bruce, for a second preseason game in terms of playing time?
With as much as our ones are getting today and tomorrow, I don't think it's necessary probably to play that much in the ball game. Maybe a few more plays than last week. If things go as well as they did early offensively, it'll probably be the same. Defensively, the same, just because of the work we're getting this week. If we weren't working together this week, we'd probably play 20 plays, 25.
What can you say about the work that your offense was doing, Jameis in particular, towards the end of practice there? Was Mike, or was it Chris Godwin had the touchdown, O.J. Howard had the touchdown?
Yeah, those were all 2-point plays. But, yeah, it was a good drill, good live drill, and we'll do goal line tomorrow. And in those condensed areas, I'd rather go full speed than having guys semi-pull up. That's when you get injuries. Just let them go. Nobody gets hurt that way.
Coach, with Darren Stewart coming in, how's he fit into your defense, and where does that leave you with the guys that are still mending?
Well, yeah, he's a strong safety, and he's a great communicator. So that's a great fit for what we need right now.
Bruce, has there been a player of a few weeks now in the training camp that has really surprised you, that has stood out that maybe you didn't expect?
Not really. I mean, I'm still waiting on some guys to show me something. That's probably more surprising than guys that have surprised me. I'm waiting on 3 or 4 guys to show me something.
I know it's a numbers game, but a guy like Matthew Wilkins, who has picked 6 Jameis, I want to say, in the first training camp practice, and then he, gets a takeaway in his first preseason game. I mean, how much of a challenge is it going to be for him to make this roster?
Well, it's really tough. I mean, it's keep playing like you're playing, you're going to have a chance. Because the one thing about him, he plays full tilt every time he's out there, and he's playing smart right now. He did get a couple penalties today. That's the stuff that young guys, that'll kill us, especially on 3rd down. And I love his aggressiveness, but let go of his shirt, things like that. But he's a good, young, aggressive player. He's going to have a good future.
Multiple times in camp, Coach, you brought up Wally Pipp, Lou Garrett.
They still don't know who they are.
Well, your folks out here, like myself, but as far as on your team, is Spencer Snell one of those guys that could end up being the Lou Garrett, and who turns into Wally
Yeah, he
Pipp?
gets 100 yards in the 4th quarter again. He's going to open a lot of eyes. I mean, he just keeps getting open. He's more of a slot, and get him out there in one-on-ones outside. It's not his forte, but in the slot, he's a heck of a little football player.
Considering how much you line up, a guy like Chris Godwin already on the inside, I mean, is there room for a true slot receiver on this team that maybe?
Yeah, Snelly could be. I mean, Justin Watson, bigger physical guys because they have to block. If you're going to play wide receiver for us, you're going to block, and that first. So that's his downfall as far as Snelly going in there. He's tough enough. It's just physical stature isn't big enough, but he can catch the football.
But is there room for a guy like that on your team?
Oh yeah, 3rd down.
You have to be a punt returner as well.
That's the other thing is kickoff, punt return. Yeah, he's fighting some other guys too. But I like to see Scotty Miller get his ass back on the field.
Anything else?
Thanks guys.
Thank you, Coach.